Hello and welcome to a new video presented by Stein Investments. This video is all about EasyInsight 2.0, the first major release which now covers the entire market and trading symbols provided by your broker. And in this video we'll go through the new parameters, where to find the data, so what have changed, then what's inside the CSV, and where to find the prompts, then how to work with that with Perplexity or other AI providers, and then in the end we'll see how the AI analyzes the data we uploaded. We probably won't trade today because it's already Friday around midday here in Europe, so especially in terms of Forex, there's not much to expect for the rest of the day. It might be different on the cryptocurrencies, but it's definitely not the best time to open new trades. And so in this video, we can entirely focus on the new features provided by EasyInsight 2.0. So let's start with a new parameter here wished by a user who wanted to get the export timestamp according to his broker time. A very useful idea, so we implemented it immediately. Then we have the usual GMT and DST adaptation, which is essential, especially for the real-time recorded volume data we use. And then comes this entire new block of parameters here, and here you can decide what you want to export. In this case, we run the full set, so we did analyze the main 28 Forex pairs, then we analyzed everything in terms of metals and all crypto symbols and the main indices. And on top of that, you can additionally add specific symbols like special shares you want to monitor because you have them in your portfolio or you are a shares trader. Then you can add the additional symbols here, separate them by a comma, and you will get an extra export file for these symbols as well. The time-lapse export is a well-known feature since the probably first release, and the main idea behind is that you get an export every 15 minutes or whatever you set here as interval, and so you have some kind of market history you can then upload to the AI. So you give the AI 3, 4, 5 CSV files in a row and say, hey, please detect trends, what is interesting to trade, and the AI will do the job based on this multiple CSV files. Then we have the cleanup settings, where you can then clean up automatically. So you say after 30 days the history is outdated, I don't need it anymore, and so this is enabled by default. The same is true for the time-lapse files, because running this tool day in, day out will accumulate to a serious size of files over time. And so this makes sense to clean up the older files you don't need for your daily trading anyway. Then we have the tools you are using. Ideally, you have the full set. With EasyInsight standard version, these are set to false by default because we can't know which indicator you already have. In this case, we are using the AIO version where all the indicators are included. So FX volume is enabled, FX power is enabled. Here you can set custom periods if you like to use them. Then we have IX power, which is now also included in the AIO version. And then we have FX dynamic for the volatility analysis and FX levels for the support and resistance levels. On top of that, we have some OHLC data for different time frames, and we are currently preparing the next update where we include the standard indicators as promised a few weeks ago. Then you have the time schedule. If you say I'm only trading the London session from the morning to the evening, then you can set the times here accordingly and stop the export or pause the export during the night times. And here are some miscellaneous settings where you define in which folder you want to have your data exported, and you see we have now one subfolder for every asset class. So let's close this here and check where the data is exported and how it looks like. And we go to MQL5, Files, and then we have EasyInsight. And there you have a category for each of the asset classes. So in this case, we start with crypto, and I'll go to the TimeLapse folder, and there you see the latest updates and the entire market data history recorded for several days now. And let's check the latest file just created right now at 12:22 here in my case, and you see by just selecting the crypto category in the EasyInsight settings, the tool itself looks for all available crypto symbols that your broker provides, analyzes them, and exports the data to this CSV file. And this is the data you can then upload to the AI, either ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity or whatever you prefer, and then you get a market analysis based on this data. And as far as I know, this is definitely unique in the MQL5 market, because no one does market analysis to this extent. And it's not just crypto symbols, we have the same here for indices as well. We have the regular singular file analysis and the corresponding example prompt. I just opened it here to see what you can expect. So this is a default export prompt that gives the AI an idea what do you want and what kind of data you provide. So at first you tell the AI what you are doing. This is here in these first two lines. Then comes the column description of the CSV file. And then you tell the AI what is the goal of this provided data and the AI prompt. And here we say, find up to 5 interesting buy or sell setups based on the following criteria. RXP shows consistent direction across all periods. ATR is below 100%. Buy trades use S1 as stop loss and R1 as profit target. Sell trades vice versa. Risk-reward ratio should be greater than 0.5. Please provide the symbol, the direction, risk-reward calculation, and a brief explanation for the setup. And that's amazing how the AI can work with these just few lines of text and your data and provide you exceptional trading recommendations that usually work and lead to profits. But of course, we always have to check the outcome. And what's even better, this TXT file is just a template. It's just an example. We know it works and it works excellent, but you can also modify this AI prompt. So if you like to do your own or extend it or fine-tune it or whatever, just copy this file, paste it here, and then you can edit it, because the default template is usually overwritten as soon as EasyInsight starts. But it's pretty easy to just copy the original file and create and modify your own TXT file to your liking. For the index data, we also have the time-lapse option as for every other category, and you see we have the main indices here scanned automatically as well, and there we have all the information, the strength, the ATR range from FX Dynamic, then the S1 and R1 level from FX levels, the OHLC data, etc., etc. And more is about to come. But in case you are missing something here, you can still add it as additional symbol or drop us a line and tell us if we forgot something to add, and then we can add it to the next update as well. One thing I have to mention is the resource intensity due to the analysis, the ongoing analysis and constant monitoring of several dozens of symbols. And this leads to some interesting RAM usage. It's no big deal for MT5, and the MT4 version works as well, but we know from experience that especially MT4 is closer to its limits, and we highly recommend using a separate terminal. It can be connected to the same trading account, but using a separate terminal to run the EasyInsight analysis and export independent from your usual trading setup, just to ensure that this is running ongoing, exporting files, and is not somehow side affected by another AA of you or whatever you are doing in your other trading charts. So this is just a recommendation in case you are experiencing some performance issues. Maybe we didn't had any issues so far, but I admit I mainly trade with MT5 because it's way faster and more capable of doing things, and so I stick with it, and this is just a tip for our MT4 users. So this have been the technical basis for our AI analysis, and I would say we now test it in real time. Use our standard prompt and text file and the latest data file here. We just upload them to Perplexity, and then it seems like I have to write what I want. Please analyze as written in the txt file, and then we are good to go, as you can see in this error here. And then the AI will do the magic. I have to say, there is some kind of differences between the free plan AI usage and the paid subscriptions, and one of these differences is that the free plans are pretty limited, so you can upload maybe only 1 or 2 files. You can't do an extended time-lapse analysis with 4 to 6 files, and you can also can't choose which AI model you want to use, which is possible here with Perplexity, where you can here either go with the best model based on your query, or you can choose which ChatGPT model, Claude model, Gemini, Grok, whatever you like to use. This is only possible with the paid subscription, but if you want to test it out, there is a $10 discount offer on your first subscription. You get it by using the link below this video, and we are pretty happy to offer this to our customers. And it's a very convincing offer, and you can do so many things with Perplexity, especially because it uses the best AI models from all other providers. And really, it's an amazing experience. Just give it a try. $10 a month is really no big deal to give it a try. And if you're convinced, you can then continue your subscription at the regular price. But I highly recommend having a look at it. So this is the AI analysis based on our data. No crypto pairs currently meet all criteria for valid buy or sell setup. The only ones that are nearly close to this criteria is Litecoin US dollar and Uni US dollar. Here, they both have a pretty negative risk and reward ratio, but you also get a detailed description of the improvements needed. And so in the crypto market, there's currently nothing to trade for us, but we can have a look at the charts if we like. Let's copy paste, then we go to our chart, paste it here. There we have Litecoin US dollar, and yes, this is a perfect analysis because we are sitting right in a resistance level The question is, will it break through or not? So the risk with a stop level here in this last support level is definitely negative. So we are risking more than we could win. And the other one is Uni US dollar, and I guess this will show something very similar. And yeah, if we consider the latest support level here as stop level and the next resistance as target, then we definitely have a pretty bad risk reward ratio, and I wouldn't take this trade anyway. So nonetheless, this should just describe that we are now capable of analyzing every asset class with EasyInsight. And this is such an amazing experience and feeling. All these things I had to check manually in the past. I had to go through all the different charts and check if there are trading recommendations possible, something to present in our morning briefing, etc., etc. You don't need that anymore. It's so simple. You have one export tool that analyzes the market day in, day out. I run this here on a VPS, so I have a 24-hour history if I like. And then I can throw these CSV files to the AI, get a recommendation or not, because not trading or telling me not to trade is also a recommendation in itself that helps to remain consistently profitable. And I can only recommend every one of you give it a try, as long as it's that cheap, because the possibilities you have with this kind of tools are really endless. We know every trader prefers a different market, but we can only encourage you to have a closer look at other markets as well. And especially the crypto traders will love this tool because it simplifies trading for them so much. Crypto symbols are available on many brokers already. You don't have to trade it on the regular cryptocurrency exchanges. You can also trade it here with IC Markets in this example, and it's really piece of cake. It's so easy, and the market analysis is done in just a few seconds, as you've already seen. So that's it for the moment. This is the last reminder that with the increase of the capabilities of EasyInsight, we will raise the price as announced more than 2 weeks ago. The update has been delayed due to my vacation, which I'm back now, and we'll present more content with these new features beginning from next week. But it's the last call. EasyInsight AIO will rise from $249 to $349. So if you're thinking about getting this tool, which includes all the indicators, not visible on chart, but for the data export, then this is the right time to get EasyInsight AIO. And if you don't know where to get it, I can only recommend having a look at our Welcome at Stein Investments page, where you find all our tools, including our latest masterpieces, EasyInsight, EasyInsight AIO, and Easy Trade, which I use for all my manual trading. EasyInsight, the standard version, is for those users who already have most of our indicators. They can just use EasyInsight and it requests the indicators they have already installed. All others, I recommend EasyInsight AIO, where all the indicators are already included. You don't get any visual indicator on chart, but it's enough for the data export. And if you are unsure which one is the right for you, I recommend visiting the EasyInsight FAQ, where we answered most of the questions, and we'll also rework that to adapt it to the new possibilities that are now available with version 2.0. That said, I wish everyone an exciting weekend, and we are looking forward to the new trading opportunities upcoming next week. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.